Hi, I am the grateful and victorious Tina Maria Scott. I'm glad to be back with you today to talk about victorious thought number 17. And it is forgiveness is victorious today. And you may be wondering, why should I forgive? I don't want to forgive. I've heard that so many times. So, first of all, forgiveness, according to the dictionary, is the action or process of forgiving or being forgiven. Yes. And then to forgive is when someone doesn't have any more sadness, no more anger, no more blaming, no more shaming towards another. And so, why should we forgive? Because when we hold on to forgiveness, it affects us emotionally and physically. A lot of times, when folks are angry about something someone did or said to them, and they just can't let it go, a lot of times they end up with a stomach ache, a headache. Sometimes it even goes as far as sadness and depression, depending on what has happened. So, whatever it is that has happened that it doesn't feel good to you, that did not make you happy, be willing to just let it go. Let it go, let it go, because it's for your highest good to let it go. We don't want it to affect us emotionally or physically because it can start to deteriorate our well being. Okay, so let me give you an example of one of the things um, I had to let go of. I'm going to share an experience that I had well over 30 years ago. And yes, I have forgiven. And it's something because I was thinking about some people are holding on to things that has happened 10, 20, 30, maybe even 40 years ago. Sometimes it is just really hard to forgive unless we consciously make a decision. This is something that we're going to do because we know it is for our highest good. Okay, so a little over 30 years ago, I was um, I was married to my youngest son's father, and he came home one day and just decided he didn't want to be married anymore. Oh, yes, he did. He told me, Tina Maria, that he didn't want to be married anymore, that he wanted a divorce. So, of course, I went into the sadness, the anger. It's like, then I went into that state of mind. What did I do? And it took me a while, but with prayer, I was able to forgive. And with prayer, and I took a relationship seminar. And that seminar helped me to look at the situation just a little bit different. Well, actually, not just a little bit, a whole lot different. And it was that we are not responsible for the way people think or behave. And so someone's behavior and their thoughts have nothing to do with me. And so once I was able to accept that my son's father, with him leaving me, that was something that he wanted to do. I felt like I was a good wife. I cooked, I cleaned, I supported him emotionally. It was like for the longest I couldn't understand what did I do. And then when I went to that workshop and with prayer, I realized that it wasn't about me. It was about him. And the blessing is he did the right thing to leave. If he wasn't happy anymore, we don't want anyone to stay with us that's not happy. So he did the right thing. But at the time, I didn't see it as the right thing. I saw it as, oh, what's wrong with me? When it didn't have anything to do with me. And it wasn't until then that I was able to forgive. Once I realized that it wasn't about me, and I'm asking you to consider things that are done and said to us, it's not about us, it's about the other person. Don't take anything personally. If we took everything personally, we'll be a nervous wreck. We don't want to do that. So let's see. And let's see what else I wanted to share. Um, I want to leave a couple of Bible verses with you. And before I do that, I'm going to ask you to please share something that happened for you. I'm not going to say to you because everything that happens is really, we can find a blessing in it. Believe me, everything that happens to us, there is a blessing in it. So share in the comment section something that happened for you that you felt like you had to forgive and you were able to forgive, or something that you're still working on. Forgiving is a process depending on what has happened. It takes a while for some of us to forgive. Some of us can forgive like that, and then others of us, we're gonna sit in it for a little while. But whatever feels good to your soul, that's what you have to do. I'm talking about forgiveness being victorious today. Yes. And so I'm going to leave you with a couple of Bible verses, and they are coming from Ephesians 4:31 and 32. Get rid of all bitterness, rage, anger, harsh words, and slander, as well as all types of evil behavior. Instead, be kind to one another, tenderhearted, giving one another just as God, through Christ, has forgiven you. Yes. So the Bible is telling us to forgive one another. God forgave us. Yes. And so I'm going to say this, how I know I have truly forgiven my youngest son's father, and it happened well over 30 years ago, is because if he was to call me right now, I would be on the next plane flying, because love never dies. Of course, it would never be anything intimately, sexually, anything like that. But if he needed me, I'm going to be there. And that's a sign of true forgiveness, when there's no animosity left. Okay, so I trust that whatever you're going through, that you're able to forgive and forget. Yes, I said and forget. That's a part of forgiving. Yes. Okay, I look forward to seeing you next week. Have a great week, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a comment. All right, goodbye for now.